Well, Sarah, thank you very much for joining us here on the Asian Game. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show with us today. You've been in Saudi Arabia for about 18 months now. How are you enjoying life so far?
I'm really enjoying it. Um, I think, to be honest, when we decided to go, we had no idea what to expect. Um, but I think, like me and my partner, we were both like played in so many countries in Europe, and we were very like open to a new opportunity, a new adventure. Um, and I think like when we jumped on it, it's just been very easy to adapt right away. We love it. Ragnar, my son, is going to school, and my partner is also playing. So, it's a busy family life with the football. Uh, Trying to, balance things with the football lifestyle, which is not always easy, especially when we're both in this lifestyle. But I think just, we're loving it. So we like it very much.
Did you know what to expect when you arrived? Did you speak to any other players that had been there previously, and how has it compared to what you were expecting when you came in?
No, I didn't know any players at that time who were playing that I could got in contact with. Um, I didn't know what to expect. I saw some videos on YouTube, to be honest. Um, and it was maybe different quality that I was used to, playing in big top clubs. Um, but I just like it's just a difference from the first and the second year. It's crazy like how the league has progressed in such a short time period. Not even just the league, it's just the players. And some of them haven't like played for a long time, and just the improvement they've made in such a short time period. And then also I didn't maybe expect that there were so many good internationals in this league. Many players, I knew some, like not knew them personally, but I knew some other players that uh, I knew from Europe and from other places in the national team that were there, and I just didn't expect so many good foreigners or so many good international to be playing in the league. And I think, in the first year, I expected, no, I saw that the internationals made a lot of difference. But you can see now, like in my second year, like the Saudis are making, the big difference, because can only have five foreigners on the pitch, or use five foreigners. So, just a big, I'm just so like, especially the girls in my team, the improvement they made in such a short time period. It's been unbelievable to watch them, and to train with them, be with the team. So yeah.
You mentioned that the level that you had played at in the past. So with the greatest of respect to Saudi Arabia, it was a step down for you. So why did you make the decision? What was it about the opportunity that Al Qadsiah presented to you that sort of made you take that plunge and go ahead and take the offer?
Yeah, I think when my agent first mentioned Saudi, I was like, yeah, we have other options also, or like we looked into we looked into other options, but he was like, it's the Saudi, they are really like, they really want to invest, and they have like a big program for women's football now, like, and they want to commit a lot to the women's game. And I was like, okay. But then I spoke to the club, just to have that conversation, and I was really like impressed by what the club wanted to do and where they want to be at. And obviously, I knew that I was coming into maybe a different role, which was actually fine with me at that time, because I think, like, obviously also in Juventus, I quit my national team career. I want to spend a little bit more time with my family. Also was getting older, and so maybe it's the right thing to do. And I spoke to this with my partner, and we both decided to, have have the experience and go for it. Obviously people say, yeah, you're going there because you will get a large amount of money, and but obviously, like, you have the financial part is a part of it for sure. But I think what people maybe don't know also, like the structure and the facilities that we are giving, especially in our club, it's probably better than many top teams and top leagues in Europe. Even though the quality is much less, but still they decided to invest and commit in a team that has less quality, but they know they're gonna build. Like, if you compare that to Europe, like the women, the girls, they deserve to have that structure, to have that quality of conditions. They already have the level, and they're playing so many games throughout the season and with the national team, and they don't have the right facilities or the structure in the game. You can't provide that to them. And then obviously there's another discussion, like regarding injuries and all these things that come across. But I think also you have everything you need. It's just that gap that needs to grow and get better. But that will come with time. Like I said before, even in 1 year, I can see a lot of progress in the local girls, and that's the main thing. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna ask you about that because you have played for some huge clubs throughout your career, and from the outside looking in, it does look like the facilities and everything, the way the players are catered for and looked after in Saudi Arabia, is if not on par, then perhaps exceeds what is the case in Europe or at a lot of European clubs. I'm sure there's some of the biggest clubs that have fantastic facilities, but has that perhaps surprised you, that the level of facilities? I mean, I was speaking with Russ Fraser the other day, your sort of head of women's football, and he was explaining that obviously the new stadium, the Aramco Stadium, is being built for the men's team that they'll move into later this year, and with that comes a new training facility for the men's team. So the current training facility, which has sort of just been built for them, will be handed over to the women's team, and that is an exceptional facility in itself. So has that sort of perhaps surprised you? Do you think and that is that a misconception that people have, just how well the players are treated and catered for, and the level of facilities that they have in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, it did surprise me. Especially me. I've been in many top clubs, and I've been through like the travel sometimes, and the pitches we play on, and it's sometimes it's just, we just, you know go through it. It's just a part of it. It's part of the women's football growing. It's gonna take some times, but I think what they've done here, like in you know 3-4 years, Europe is still, decades trying to like fill that gap. Um, so it's not really about like financially players' contract. It's about that like it's also about the investment what the club gives the players the opportunity to just play. You have a good structure, you have those facilities, everything you need to be able just to thrive as a player and be the best player you can be. But in many clubs in Europe, there's a lot of um, players need to maybe seek a different physio or a different what should we say, like alternative for recovery, because the club doesn't provide it, or um but I'm not like, I don't want to like, maybe it's a exception with the top clubs right at the moment, but I'm saying in the top leagues, there may be like two two teams in those leagues that commit to that, and then the other teams, it's not. There's no balance in it. And I'm coming from a team now like Qadsiah that have, I would say, we have the best conditions for the players here in the Saudi league. But I know it's early, and I know the other teams are progressing it, and they're probably doing some way faster, probably just for the next year or the 2-3 years, it's going to be at that level, because they want it, and they are willing to commit to it, invest in it, and they're consistent in it. That's what we need in Europe also.
When you see what's happened with the Saudi Pro League on the men's side, can you see something similar happening with the women's league in Saudi Arabia as well? Obviously, there's some incredible talent already being attracted to being attracted to the league. I mean, just this season, I mean, some of your teammates have sort of played and won things at the highest level. You know, the Champions League, Euros, etc. And when you look at the entire package that's being offered, can you see Saudi Arabia perhaps becoming a more attractive option for players around the world? You know, can this league over the next 5 or 10 years become more of a destination league like we've seen in the men's side as well?
Yeah, 100%. And I think as soon as the league has filled that gap of difference, quality, you have everything you need to thrive or be the best player you want to be. Um, it doesn't have that yet, but it's on its way to be that. And I think, like I told you before, that like I think it's a big thing that the international players are coming. And I've probably not spoken to one international player that doesn't like it here, you know. So I think it'll make a big impact for even like I've been contacted by players in top leagues in Europe asking me like, how is it? Like, they started to feel like, okay, I mean, it looks good, like, but how is it? And it's like, it is good. Um, it is a good environment, but would I recommend international like in his 20 to come now at this time? Probably not. But in some years, when the gap is filled and you have like the balance in the league and you have that quality in each game and you have more teams in the league, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And do you see the fact that you've moved there and other international players have moved there? You said you're getting phone calls from players around the world. Do you think that is perhaps helping change perceptions and attitudes of towards women's football in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I think so. And I think like I don't know what some people expect me to say, but like it's only my experience, and even like with all the international players I know about here, we have the same feeling. It is, it's a good life, and it's a obviously you're part of a program, you're part of the development, and you're part of like part of raising the league standards and making a example for the locals and helping them. And you can see it is happening, and it is helping.
I said at the top that you've been there about 18 months now. I'm not sure what your contract situation is and sort of how long you've got left. But what is it that you want to achieve there? Sort of first when you went there and perhaps now, what is it that you want to achieve by being at Qadsiah? Obviously, it's winning and winning the championship. That sort of goes without saying. But is there anything else that you want to achieve while you're there?
No, I think coming in from the beginning, I just saw that like, or I got to know the girls and everybody, and I was a bit like, it was a bit humble experience because like, since I was 5, I was able to play with full support, and I was able to uh, play competitions at that age until now, and some of them haven't. Uh, Even in the 30s, they just played football maybe for 3-4 years. You know what I mean? And it's just like just to come and just help them, guide them. If they need some questions, I'm there. I'm there for them. Um, I think that's something that I understood right away, like my role coming like um, not only to win everything, which is I know the club has those ambitions, but obviously that, but also like try to guide the players, help the players push the standards along other internationals, and um, and I think it's the same this year, but we are more eager to like we got last year we didn't get a chance to win title, but it was so you were like more hungry for it this year. And like I said, um there's been a lot of improvement, and you can see we are closer to it. Um but also say in the same role though, it is very giving. But at the same time, I'm also very competitive. I still play and train like I'm 18-year-old. So it's like a bit of everything, to be honest. No, I enjoy it so much.
And just a final one from me, a bit of a broader question, if you will. We've seen reports of Qatar hosting or going to host the inaugural Women's Club World Cup in 2028, and obviously there's been huge investment in Saudi Arabia that we've been discussing. There's been criticism of players that have gone to Saudi Arabia. There's been criticism of Saudi sponsorship of women's tournaments in the past as well, and women's football has a unique culture around it, very different to the men's game. Do you think women's football is ready to accept Gulf nations like Qatar and Saudi Arabia having a bigger influence in the game?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, there's space for everyone. Um, I believe women's football, it is a global game that continues to grow, including in the Gulf region. And there's gonna be opinion in football. There's gonna be, especially women's football. And we know that it's gonna be good ones or bad ones. But I think like what truly matters is the work being done. And I mean, from my experience in the Saudi Women Premier League, um, I've only seen like investment, um, and I've seen commitment in developing players and trying to put this professional environment in place. So if the goal is to support and grow, so why not?